Welcome back. We are going to be texturing the other texture map that we created from our keyblade, the Neo Kingdom key. So we on our previous video we textured texture 1. We're now going to be doing texture 2. We're going to be using the reference image created by Ma.Curious on DeviantArt as the reference image for color. Alright, so this tutorial will cover making the textures for this part of the keyblade, this part of the keyblade, and this part of the keyblade. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? So we're gonna start with the blade first. Blade. So, like what we did for the first tutorial, once again make this layer the master layer. Master layer. And then this layer we can work on. So what did we say this color was gonna be? I think this was going to be the blue color, right? Yeah, it was going to be the nice, lovely shade of aqua blue. So let's get the color reference. So light blue, light blue, and we can deal with the dark blue later. Alright, so let's make the dark blue the base color, and then we can add this light color on top of it. So just flipping back and forth to get the reference of what it should look like. Okay. So around here, it should be the light blue color, right? Like that. That looks ugly. Let's do that again. Alright. Here we go. Yay! Looks a lot better. And then we also have this part here and that part there. So it's approximately here and there. So we'll just and once again you can go out of the lines, it's okay, since Blender does not take into account anything except inside the texture material. Alright, so I'm going to do something a bit different from the reference image. I'm just going to use a big size and I'm going to draw it through like that. And use a small size and draw it through like that. Oh, that looks ugly. Let's not do that. No, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Alright, we'll leave it at that. Click there and delete everything else. Done. So that's the blue part of the blade done. Now let's do this part, which is the grey part, right? Yes, it is the grey part. Okay, now the grey part I'm going to do a bit differently to the reference image. So we just get the lightest color and the darkest color on the color palette. Make a new layer, and then we will start cracking. I want a better gray. Let's get that gray. It's a nicer gray. Click there. Whoops. Make you lower. New layer. Where's the layer? Yep. Now let's make the blade shine. Well, not really shine since we're putting shades into it. And then we will put in a line here. Oops. am I doing? What is this computer doing? Why is it doing that? What? I just want to scroll in. Alt. Oh, there we go. Yeah. It's Alt and then the scroll wheel. Okay. Done. So that's the grey part done. You can make it a bit lighter if you want. Actually, it does look a bit better when it's a bit lighter. It's not as strong, but it works. And now for the last part, which is the black part. This part of the blade. So we get a color reference, dark color shade, light color shade. And once again, create a new layer, drag it to the bottom, make a base color on the back, like so. Fill it with something, and then you can use your brush to give it strokes. Alright, that is that. So now the blade is done. So this blade part is essentially done. We will now probably work on the... What are we going to work on? Let's work on the window part. The window part, or shall we work on the blade? Let's work on the blade part, so the blade part looks easier. So blade part, get the light color, get the darkest color, or get the intermediate color. And we will... These are the parts, right? I think so. Move it down. Put the intermediate color as the background color. And then we want to try and work around it. So the lighter colors on the edges, right? Yes, the lighter colors on the edges and the darker colors on the inside. So new layer. Lighter colors on the outside. Whoops, why is it doing that? Ah, because it's on top of the master. And then we get the darker color, which is this lovely blood orange color. Oops. I think these two are also colored blood orange from memory. Okay, so we've made textures for this outside part. Let's make textures for this cool kingdom symbol part. Alright, so that's gonna be this part. I know it looks nothing like it at the moment because it's all stretched and everything, but you can roughly tell that it is that part. Okay, so that's probably the lateral part, and that's the medial part. So that's the part that connects to the keyblade, and that's the part of the teeth that hangs out, the lateral part, medial part. Okay, so now let's pick the colors for it. So once again, go to the reference image, select the colors, nice gray color, and a nice silvery gray. Oh, okay. I might not use the black parts, the dark gray black parts, only because the color's a bit too strong for it. So anyway, okay, so what are we going to do now? So we are going to make the background. We're going to make the background, fill it with the lighter color, and then we will use the dark color as a shade. It's a nice shade of grey. Come on, let go. Okay. Okay. So we will now. There we go. Yeah, I think that works. I think it works. Don't know about you though. Sometimes simple things are really effective. I like to keep things simple and easy. Because when you become too complex, sometimes you might get lost. And besides, once we put like a metal texture over it, it'll look really good. It will look really good. So we'll just leave it as that for now. I mean, if you really wanted to, what I'll do is I'll release the texture net with the model that I released this keyblade with. And if you really wanted to, you can just recolor it, like your own style and everything. Okay, alright, so we've got that done. Now here's the funny visor part with the windows. New layer, drag it down, and you want to get a color, oops, what did I do? So it's a lovely yellow and a delicious citrus orange color. Alright, so let's make the yellow the base color, and we'll make the orange the shade. New layer, and then we do it. Yeah, I think it should be fine. This is when you have the front view. Or I could just do that. Hopefully this will be okay. How am I doing? Okay, and now we just color in the windows. The windows are a brownie, brownie to what? This sort of chocolatey color. So it's a deep chocolate to a maroon. So what I'll do is I will... Actually, I know what to do. I'm not gonna do what I've done with the others. I'm just gonna make a panel, and you'll see what I do later. Gradient. And what color's on top? Oh, okay. So the maroon's on top, so I have to reverse it. The maroon's on top. Okay, so we'll just leave it as that. Just ignore it. Don't worry, I'll come back to the reason why I'm doing that. As for this, we can't have any transparency. So if you see any checkered, it means it's transparent. So I'm going to fill it with a color, which will be this lovely yellow. Because yellow is a cool color. Whoops. There we go. See yellow. Alright. Turn off the master layer. So when you release the textures, it's gonna look like that. I mean, to most people, it looks like nothing. It looks like a mess. But to you, it's meaningful because you're the one who has created the nets, so you know roughly where it goes and everything. Alright, so I will save this for now. Save as texture 2. Okay. Alright, so there we have it. Texture 1 and texture 2 are both done, but they're not exactly finished quite yet. I still need to add in the textures to make it look leathery, to make it look metally, to make it look shiny, and everything. So we're going to do that in the next video. So I hope you can tune in and we can finally get these textures finished. Alright.